Rock and Jouv. Rock and Jouv. Rock and Jouv. Rock and Jouv. Rock and Jouv.
Hey everybody, welcome to not just another episode of the Rock and Jouv Show, but a finals-bound episode of the Rock and Jouv Show. Man, we did it. Boston Celtics beat Miami in Game 7 to head to the NBA Finals. This podcast could contain some colorful language, but that's just part of it. So if you're the faint of heart, maybe turn away. I am, unfortunately, without my co-host, Al Jouv, but we are working on some kind of cool things in the future. So maybe he can be around for that. But, man, this was crazy. I mean, this was, you know, for those of you that have missed it, Boston takes Game 7, 100-96 in Miami at the FTX Arena to just capture a finals berth for the first time since 2010. Huge game. Man, what a win. What a success. Just truly an amazing feat to kind of head back to the finals and so exciting, you know. Man, I was just kind of over the moon. I'll break down this game and then we'll kind of look at the series and maybe look ahead to Golden State a little later. But I just want to talk about this Game 7 really quick. We had to come out hot. We had to make sure that they did not come out hot, and you know that's one thing. But it really was. We kind of stormed in the beginning. Grant Williams with 7 total points. Most of his points were scored right in the first quarter. Tatum had 8 points in this quarter. Al Horford had 3. He only ended up having 5. You know, so this was a game that, we needed to come out absolutely hot, and we did. And fortunately, the Heat came out pretty cold, which was great. The only people that scored, Jimmy Butler had 6 in that first quarter. Adebayo had 6. Lowry had 1, and Gabe Vincent had 4. But that was huge. They missed a bunch of shots in there. They went 7 of 20 in the first quarter alone, whereas we shot 12 of 24. We definitely kind of controlled the ball, made our free throws in this game. So we came out to this hot start in the first quarter. Okay, then the second quarter comes around and we kind of get smoked in that quarter. They beat us 32-23. So at the end of that half, what was it? It was 49-55. We had cut basically a 17, 18 point lead to about 6 points, and unfortunately, it was just a pretty inefficient. Jaylen Brown missed a lot of shots. He went 3 of 8 from the field. He still had 3 points, 1 of 5 from deep. But, Jimmy Butler, man, was not letting them lose. And I just have the utmost respect for that guy, man. 18 points right in the second quarter to bring them within striking distance. Just an impressive feat. He is somebody that does not like to lose. That's all I'm going to say. Kyle Lowry could have done more, but honestly, and that's kind of what it came down to, is just Jimmy Butler being that guy the entire game, and really the entire series. He did not have the help that I think he needed, but I don't really care, obviously. Because it worked out for me pretty well. So in this third quarter, this was really kind of our time to take the quarterback, to take the game back. So we ended up basically splitting this third quarter 27-26. So we kind of keep that lead, extended a little bit. Tatum played every minute this period. Horford and Brown and Smart all played 12 minutes. They just kind of subbed out Williams, both the Williams, Grant and Robert. But yeah, Tatum had 6 that quarter. Brown had 8. Marcus stepped up with 9. So 2 of 3 from deep on that one. But yeah, Jimmy Butler had 7 this quarter. Bam kind of picked up some slack here, 10 points. But it's a tight game, right? Jimmy Butler, by the way, played every minute of this entire game. And that kind of comes into play later. So throughout most of the fourth quarter. And going into this fourth quarter, man, I am nervous. I am worried. All we have to do here is tie the quarter, or even lose by 4, 5, whatever. That's something that we can handle. So, everybody saw the game. I'm not gonna bore with any details, but Robert Williams actually only got 1 minute in the fourth quarter, so I was kind of nervous about that, but I understand he's kind of nursing that injury. Grant Williams played 12 minutes in this fourth quarter. Actually, the Celtics were kind of in control most of this quarter until the last 3 minutes. The Heat went on an 11-0 run, and I knew that it really wasn't going to be a problem. In my deepest part of my soul, these Miami fans are pretty fair weather. They're pretty fake. So I kind of had the feeling they didn't have the energy. The fans did not have the energy to put them back in this game. And that's exactly what happened. Unfortunately, fortunately for us, but unfortunately for the Heat franchise, the fans were not invested enough to bring them back, even when they brought it within 2 points, so that they ended the game basically on an 11-0 run or whatever. And obviously Jimmy Butler and his tired legs played every single second of this game up until the last 20 seconds, maybe comes down, takes this three with, maybe 20 seconds left, just front rims it, leaves it right on the front rim. If he would have put a little bit more on that shot, they would be going to the finals right now and not us. But man, that guy just laid it all out there. He really did. He went 0-2 from 3, that just the fourth quarter alone. But man, this guy played every second of this game. I mean, that's a feat in and of itself. Man, when, he was slowing down, you could tell his legs. I mean, 5 of 13 from the field in the second half, only 11 points. Kind of relied on Bam to be more efficient. Kyle Lowry. I mean, this is a very deep team. I mean, and this is what I'll say, is that every single point that we scored and every single point that they missed was the game, There could not have been a situation where we missed one of these three, and everybody's seen the Max Strus 3 that was ruled, out of bounds and invalid. I mean, if that shot had counted, we would have been down 1 going into the final seconds, I mean, mathematically. So going into that final shot and, that into the last 20 seconds, we would have been down 1. So this was just a game where absolutely everything that happened had to happen that way. Al Horford with the best plus-minus on the team at +10. The guy only had 5 points, 3 assists. He had 14 rebounds, but man, that guy just 2 blocks, 1 steal. He just does everything he needs to do. No turnovers. He's just so great. He's just such a great leader for these guys, and obviously reaching the finals is huge. He had the longest streak after missing it. But yeah, this was a tough game, and every other game has been tough. I mean, we talk about game 1, Boston 107, Miami 118. That was the game that Jimmy Butler had 41. We kind of got smoked. We came back, blew him out the second game, won by 25. Jimmy Butler had 29. Game 3, we lose that. First game at TD Garden, 109, 103. That was tough. Brown had 40 that game. That was the game that Tatum was just nowhere to be found. Game 4, when we needed it most, to not go down 3-1, Boston blows them out by 20 points. Game 5, Boston with 93-80. That was huge. Beat them in their own arena. Coming back to Boston, trying to close it out. No dice. Jimmy Butler had 47. Celtics lost by 8. When it comes down to it, man, this was a 2-point series, and Butler took the right shot, going for 3, trying to end the game. Poor guy's tired. I mean, he's just throughout this series alone, he averaged, I mean, technically 25 points, but it's because he had a couple stinkers. But ultimately, he was kind of waiting for somebody else to step up, and he really didn't get that. I kind of thought Victor Oladipo was going to have more of an impact off the bench. Kyle Lowry certainly should have had a bigger impact. Man, I mean, PJ Tucker was doing his job defending Jason Tatum, but Bam Adebayo did not have a great series. Averaged 15 points, throughout the whole thing. 15-8 from Bam Adebayo is just that. That's unacceptable if I'm the Heat. If I'm a Heat fan, I'm pissed. Averaged 19 and 10 throughout the season and took a huge cut in his points, and really he only had that one good game where he had, I don't know, like maybe 30 or something. But man, that you're paying Kyle Lowry big money. Kyle Lowry won a championship a couple seasons ago just to come out here and be the 6th leading scorer on your team. 30 minutes per game, 9 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. Dude. Gabe Vincent and Max Strus both scored higher on less minutes per game. But I don't know. If I'm Jimmy Butler, that's my situation. But that's exactly why I said that we should have beaten this Heat team, and that's why I said it was unacceptable if we lost. I mean, seriously, because there's no reason we should have lost. We shouldn't have lost against them in 2020, but we did. Whatever, it was the bubble. But this year we came back strong. Jason Tatum was awarded the Eastern Conference Finals Larry Bird MVP trophy, which was awesome for it to go to a Celtic, obviously. But he has led. So Tatum has led all players in the in scoring in the 2022 playoffs. He's had 486 points. That leads all scorers. In this series alone, he had 175. If you look how many Jaylen Brown had 169. So this dude was right there the entire time. I just so much respect for that. Jimmy Butler if you go over here and look at the Heat, Jimmy Butler had 179, Bam had 105, and then the next highest was 68 with Oladipo. So look, man, I feel for the guy, I do, and I really like Jimmy Butler just because he works his ass off. But if you look at this Celtics team, this was a team that really performed. 25 and 8 from Tatum with 5 assists, 24, 7 and 3 from Brown. I mean, you can't ask for much more than that from a number 2. Smart, you have 16 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists with a steal and a half a game. Grant Williams, his averages were low, but he obviously had some pretty big games. He just consistent, 8 points, 4 rebounds. Al Horford down here, 6th highest score, but he basically had a double-double the entire series with 4 assists a game. And he averaged 2 blocks, and a hobbled Robert Williams with 9 points and 6 rebounds on 70% shooting. I mean, I'll take that. I'll take that any day. This team really performed, and they wanted it. They just really did. And I just am so over the moon that they're in these finals here. Taking a look back at these Bucks series, let's just compare them here. In the Bucks series, 7-game series, so it's easy to compare. Tatum averaged 27.5, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. If you look compared to his 25, 8 rebounds and 5, I mean it's pretty similar. Brown had 22, 7 and 3 in this series, pretty similar as well. Obviously, we had to see a dip in Robert Williams' production, but even so, he still averaged 8 and 5 this series. Grant Williams, this was a big series for him, and Al Horford. They both averaged 13 and 14 and 10. So that was just big. Obviously, Tatum had that huge Game 6, 46 points, didn't let us go home. And, man, we just ended up blowing him out in the last game. Grant Williams was the leading scorer. That was his game. But impressive. Derek White's impressed me. He's really kind of proven to be exactly what the Celtics have always needed with some bench scoring. I'm really excited to see how that pans out next season. I mean, he's making a lot of money, but he's somebody that I love to have here. He just doesn't really complain about it. 33% from 3, I'll take that. 42% from the field, I'll take that. And ended up with our 5th highest points, one behind Grant Williams in this series, the Heat series. So hung right there with him. Man, I just happy to be facing the Warriors. I mean, they're going to be a tough team, but that's going to be a fun series. I really do think we're going to match up great against them. I'm really hoping we have somebody like Robert Williams available. I know this rest, these couple days even, but this rest is going to be good, I think, for him. Same thing with Marcus. I know that the Warriors are probably getting Gary Payton Jr. back, which sucks. But, man, honestly, I'm just happy. I'm happy to be in the finals. I'm happy to have gotten over the hump of never getting there. And I'm happy for Tatum for helping bring us there. You know, that's something that, man, it can just take so long to get that done. But, we've gotten there. Tatum's 24, He's been to the Eastern Conference Finals before, but to beat, this is a good Heat team. This was the number 1 seed. So for him to go ahead and beat KD, Kyrie in the first round, then to beat the Bucks, the previous champions the year before, and then for him to go on and beat the number 1 seeded Heat is just, that's crazy. That's just crazy. So in these playoffs right here, we are 8th in scoring. Warriors are number 1. We're 3rd in blocks. We are 11th in steals compared to the Warriors. We're not even on the screen there. Oh yeah, they're 8th. Sorry. Assists. Golden State leads number 1. Boston number 5. Rebounds. Celtics number 7. Warriors are number 4. Free throw percentage. We got to beat. I'm just looking at these stats, but it really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the Warriors only won 2 more games than the Celtics in the regular season. Yes, they have Curry. Yes, they have Clay. Draymond and Wiggins doesn't really scare me, but I think that we can really match up with these guys. We have a great defense. If Time Lord can play, it's going to be nice for Al. He doesn't really have to worry about Draymond Green too much, and the Warriors don't do a ton of driving. It's really just kind of perimeter defense you got to focus on, and having Smart and Brown and Tatum to kind of try to handle the 2 Splash Brothers we're going to have to see how it lines up. But, this is a winnable series. This really is. I think that every series, out of every series so far, this Warriors team is going to be the most difficult. But I thought that the most difficult for us previously was going to be I guess it's always just the current one. I kind of thought the Nets were going to give us a tough time, and they didn't. And then I thought the Bucks were going to be tough, and then they didn't. And then I thought the Heat were going to be a breeze. I was saying Celtics in 5, and it really just came down to one shot that Jimmy Butler missed. That's it. It just came down to one 3-pointer that was missed, and that punched our ticket. But, man, I'm excited about it. I'm really, really excited about it. We pulled it off. We did it. We are in the finals, and we're gonna go fight for banner 18, I guess. So go C's. We're gonna have another episode later this week breaking down Game 1 of the finals. Hopefully a little more in depth, and hopefully I'll have a co-host. But thank you for listening, and go C's.
Rock and Joe. Rock and Joe. Rock and Joe. Rock and Joe. Rock and Joe.